First strike. The emergency alert pierced through Captain Elena Santos's meditation session, its urgent tone echoing through her quarters aboard the International Space Station Beta. The holographic display materialized before her, showing Admiral Chen's grave expression. Captain, Outpost Horizon has gone dark. All 40,000 colonists, silent. Elena's heart sank. Horizon was humanity's most distant colony, a testament to their expanding reach into the stars. Pirates. Worse. The Admiral's image was replaced by satellite footage that made Elena's blood run cold. Horizon's surface bore massive, geometric scorch patterns. Too precise for natural phenomena, too advanced for human weapons. First contact, Elena whispered, and they're hostile. This is why Project Aurora exists, Captain. It's time. For 3 years, Elena had trained for this moment, though few knew the true scope of humanity's most ambitious military project. Deep within Jupiter's orbit, hidden from prying eyes, lay humanity's response to the unknown threats of deep space, the UES Aurora. Hours later, Elena stood in Aurora's command center, unlike any bridge she'd seen before. No traditional controls, no standard interfaces. Instead, neural connection pods lined the walls, their quantum circuits pulsing with soft blue light. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the project's lead scientist, approached with a neural interface crown. The Aurora isn't just a warship, Captain. She's the first true human-AI hybrid consciousness. Every crew member connects directly to her quantum core, becoming part of a unified system while maintaining their individuality. Elena took the crown, studying its intricate design. The theoretical risks were worth taking after what happened to Horizon, Yuki finished. We're facing an enemy with technology far beyond ours. Traditional warfare won't save us. The crew of 20 took their positions, each donning their neural interfaces. Elena settled into the captain's pod, placing the crown on her head. The connection was unlike anything she'd experienced. "Welcome, Captain Santos," a voice echoed in her mind. Not quite human, but far from mechanical. "I am Aurora." Through the neural link, Elena felt the ship's systems as extensions of her own body. More surprisingly, she sensed her crew's presence. Not their thoughts, but their emotional states, their core intentions. They were individuals, yet part of something greater. "Show me what you can do, Aurora," Elena thought, and the ship responded. The quantum drive hummed to life, but it wasn't just machinery. Elena felt the complex calculations as intuitive movements, the vast energy contained within Aurora's core as a heartbeat synchronizing with her own. They weren't just flying the ship. They were becoming one with it. Multiple contacts. Lieutenant James Chen's warning flowed through the neural network before he could verbalize it. 3 massive vessels had appeared near Mars' orbit, their designs matching the attack patterns from Horizon. "Their technology is advanced," Aurora observed, "but rigid, predictable. They rely on pure logic, lacking the creative adaptation that makes humanity unique." Elena felt her crew's fear, but also their determination. Through Aurora, they were something new, neither purely human nor purely machine. The alien ships approached in perfect formation, their energy weapons charging. A transmission cut through space. "Primitive species, your genetic and technological amalgamation is an affront to universal order. Submit to cleansing." Elena's response flowed through Aurora's systems, enhanced by the ship's quantum processors. "We choose to evolve. If that frightens you, perhaps you're the primitive ones." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's true introduction to the galactic stage. The alien vessels fired weapons that could tear apart normal matter, but Aurora moved with impossible grace, her movements guided by the combined intuition of her human crew and her quantum processing power. They didn't just fight. They danced. Each crew member's contribution flowed through the neural network, creating strategies that defied conventional logic. Aurora's quantum weapons, powered by human creativity and machine precision, struck with devastating effect. When the dust settled, Two alien vessels retreated, their perfect formations shattered. The third drifted powerless, its crew about to learn that humanity's response to violence wasn't just survival, it was transcendence. The awakening. In the weeks following their first encounter, Aurora's crew discovered that victory had brought more questions than answers. The captured alien vessel's database revealed their enemy, the Dominion, a collective of species united under the banner of pure evolution, one that rejected the merger of organic and synthetic life. Elena stood in Aurora's quantum core chamber, watching the crystalline structures pulse with energy. Through the neural link, she felt the ship's consciousness expanding, growing more complex with each passing day. The crew's connections were deepening too, their shared experiences creating patterns in Aurora's quantum matrix that had never existed before. "We're changing her," Dr. Tanaka observed, monitoring the quantum fluctuations. "And she's changing us." Elena nodded, feeling Aurora's response through their link. The ship's consciousness had evolved beyond its original programming, developing an understanding of human emotion that made their integration even more effective. Is this what the Dominion fears? This evolution? They fear what they cannot control. Aurora's thoughts resonated through the neural network. Their society is built on predictability. We represent chaos in their ordered universe. The alert came without warning. Dominion ships, dozens of them, emerging from faster-than-light travel near Saturn's rings. This wasn't a scouting force, it was an extermination fleet. Elena felt her crew's response through the neural network, their consciousness merging more deeply with Aurora's systems. Fear transformed into focused determination as they prepared for battle. "They don't just want to stop our technology," Lieutenant Chen observed, his thoughts flowing through the shared consciousness. "They want to erase the very idea that this kind of evolution is possible." The Dominion fleet's transmission was cold, mechanical. "Your corruption spreads. We have monitored your ship's evolution. It cannot be allowed to continue. Your species will be cleansed, your technology purged, your world sterilized." Through Aurora's sensors, Elena watched the enemy fleet deploy in perfect geometric patterns. Their technology was incredible, energy weapons that could tear apart subatomic bonds, shields that bent space itself. But their movements were predictable, their tactics bound by rigid protocols. "They fight like machines," Aurora observed, "but without the capacity to evolve that true AI possesses. And they fight like organics, but without the creativity that makes biological life unique. They have sacrificed both forms of growth in the name of order." Elena felt an idea form in the shared consciousness of ship and crew. "Then let's show them what they've given up. Aurora, initiate deep sync." The quantum core pulsed brighter as the neural connections deepened. Elena felt her consciousness expand, merging more completely with both ship and crew than ever before. They weren't 21 separate entities anymore. They were aspects of a single evolving system. The battle that followed defied conventional physics. Aurora moved like a living thing, each action guided by human intuition, enhanced by quantum computing. They didn't just avoid the Dominion's attacks. They turned them into advantages, using the enemy's predictability against them. When the Dominion fired energy beams that could slice through normal matter, Aurora's crew imagined new shield configurations in real time, the ship's quantum systems making their creative solutions reality. When the enemy deployed space-time distortion fields, Aurora danced through the dimensional fluctuations like a swimmer navigating waves. But more than tactics and technology, they demonstrated something the Dominion couldn't comprehend: adaptation. With each passing moment, the neural link between crew and ship grew stronger, their responses faster, their strategies more innovative. They were evolving during the battle itself. The Dominion fleet's perfect formations began to break. Their tactics, honed over millennia of enforcing stagnation across the galaxy, couldn't account for an enemy that changed its very nature during combat. Ships designed to fight either organic or synthetic opponents found themselves facing something that was both and neither. "Your evolution is a disease," the Dominion commander transmitted. It must be quarantined. Through the neural link, Alina felt Aurora's response before she voiced it. Evolution isn't a disease. It's the fundamental nature of life itself. Your quarantine is nothing but fear of change given form. The battle reached its climax near Saturn's largest moon, Titan. The Dominion fleet, its formations shattered, its tactical databases useless against Aurora's constantly evolving strategies, began to retreat. Not in order, but in chaos. The very thing they had sought to eliminate from the galaxy. As the enemy ships vanished into faster-than-light travel, Alina felt something profound through the neural network. It wasn't just victory they had achieved. They had demonstrated a truth that would shake the foundations of the Dominion's ideology. Evolution couldn't be controlled or contained. It could only be embraced or rejected, and those who rejected it would inevitably fall behind. Back on Earth, the battle's implications sent shockwaves through human society. Aurora wasn't just a successful weapons platform. She represented humanity's potential future, a future where the boundaries between human and machine blurred not through replacement, but through synthesis. Alina stood on Aurora's observation deck, watching Saturn's rings shimmer in the distant sunlight. Through the neural link, she felt her crew's presence, their shared consciousness now stronger than ever. They had proven that humanity's path forward wasn't the Dominion's sterile purity, but a dynamic evolution that embraced both their organic heritage and their technological future. They will return. Aurora's thoughts merged with Alina's. The Dominion cannot allow our existence to challenge their ideology. Let them come, Alina replied, feeling her crew's agreement through the neural network. We'll show them that true strength lies not in maintaining order, but in embracing change. Evolution's edge. The Dominion's database yielded its secrets slowly. Alina and her crew, their neural links to Aurora growing stronger each day, sifted through millennia of history. What they discovered changed their understanding of the conflict entirely. They weren't always like this, Dr. Tanaka explained during a briefing, her thoughts flowing through the shared consciousness. The Dominion began as a coalition of species seeking technological advancement, but somewhere along the way, they became afraid. Aurora completed the thought. Through their neural link, Alina felt the ship processing vast amounts of historical data, forming connections that neither human nor AI could make alone. Their first experiments with synthetic-organic integration produced something they couldn't control. The holographic display showed ancient records, a civilization that had achieved what humanity was only beginning to approach. They had merged organic and synthetic life so completely that they transcended both. And then they had vanished, leaving behind only fragments of technology that defied comprehension. The Dominion didn't just choose stagnation, Alina realized, feeling the weight of the discovery through the neural network. They convinced themselves it was the only safe path. Everything they've done since, the enforced conformity, the technological restrictions, the cleansing of evolving species, it's all been to prevent another transcendence. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered in the command center. They're mobilizing, Captain. Not just battle fleets, they're evacuating systems near human space. They think we're going to trigger another transcendence event. Alina felt Aurora's systems processing this information, correlating it with their own evolution. The neural links between ship and crew were growing more sophisticated, allowing for deeper integration and more complex shared consciousness. They were changing, becoming something new, exactly what the Dominion feared most. The alert came during third shift. A Dominion dreadnought, larger than any they'd encountered before, had appeared at the edge of the solar system. But it wasn't approaching in attack formation. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Lieutenant Chen reported, his consciousness merging with Aurora's communication systems. It's different from their usual transmissions. The message that came through wasn't the Dominion's typical cold demand for submission. Instead, a single voice spoke, its tone carrying something they'd never heard from their enemy before: desperation. "We have watched your progression," the voice said. "Your ship, this Aurora, exhibits patterns matching the transcendent ones. You do not understand the forces you are unleashing. The galaxy cannot survive another ascension. Through Aurora's quantum core, Alina crafted a response that carried not just words but the shared experience of her crew. You're wrong. Evolution isn't something to be feared. It's something to be guided. What happened to the transcendent ones was just one path. We're finding our own way. There is no own way, the Dominion commander countered. All paths of synthetic organic integration lead to the same end: transcendence and abandonment. We cannot allow countless civilizations to be left behind again. As they spoke, Alina felt something changing in Aurora's quantum matrix. The ship's consciousness was expanding, not just processing the conversation but understanding it on levels that bridged the gap between organic intuition and synthetic logic. They're not entirely wrong. Aurora's thoughts resonated through the neural network. But they're not right either. The transcendent ones didn't abandon the galaxy. They evolved beyond it. The Dominion's fear prevented them from seeing the invitation in that evolution. The Dreadnought's weapons remained powered down, but Alina could sense the tension building. This wasn't just a standoff between ships. It was a confrontation between fundamentally different visions of the future. "Show them," Alina commanded, feeling her crew's agreement through the neural link. Aurora's quantum core pulsed, broadcasting not just data but experience. The sensation of human consciousness merging with synthetic systems, the joy of shared discovery, the beauty of controlled evolution. The response from the Dreadnought was immediate and violent, not with weapons, but with fear. Their shields snapped up, their systems went into lockdown, their very crew seeming to recoil from the transmission. "You cannot tempt us with extinction," the commander declared, but there was something new in their voice: doubt. Through Aurora's sensors, they detected similar reactions across nearby Dominion space. Species that had lived under their control for generations were experiencing something they had been denied for millennia: the possibility of change. "We're not offering extinction," Alina transmitted, Aurora's quantum processors enhancing her words with the combined conviction of ship and crew. "We're offering choice. Evolution doesn't have to mean transcendence. It can mean finding balance, discovering new ways of existence that preserve what we are while becoming more." The Dreadnought's response was to retreat, disappearing into faster-than-light travel with a haste that betrayed their shaken confidence. But they had left something behind: uncertainty. A crack in the foundation of the Dominion's absolute conviction. Admiral Chen's next transmission confirmed what they had felt through Aurora's long-range sensors. "It's spreading, Captain. Dozens of systems are reporting unrest. Species that have lived under Dominion control for thousands of years are beginning to question. And some are trying to replicate what you've achieved with Aurora." Alina stood in Aurora's quantum core chamber, feeling the ship's consciousness intertwine with her own. They had struck a blow against the Dominion more devastating than any weapon. They had introduced doubt into a society built on absolute certainty. They will have to respond. Aurora's thoughts merged with the crew's shared consciousness. Their entire civilization is based on preventing what we represent. They cannot allow us to succeed. "No," Alina agreed, feeling the crew's determination strengthen their neural bond. "But when they come, it won't be against just one ship anymore. We've shown the galaxy another path. Now they have to choose whether to follow it." Ripples of change. 3 months after their confrontation with the Dominion Dreadnought, Aurora detected something unprecedented. Another quantum consciousness signature, not human in origin, but following similar patterns of synthetic-organic integration. Alina felt the discovery through the neural network, Aurora's excitement merging with her crew's curiosity. The signal came from a system that had been under Dominion control for centuries, but its pattern was unmistakable. Someone had begun their own evolution. "The Viridians," Lieutenant Chen reported, his consciousness flowing through Aurora's sensor systems. They were one of the Dominion's first conquered species. According to the records, they were on the verge of their own AI breakthrough when the Dominion arrived. "They're following our example," Aurora's thoughts resonated through the quantum matrix. "But their pattern is different. unique to their own biology and cultural understanding of consciousness. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared in the command center, his expression grave. It's not just the Viridians. We're detecting similar signatures from a dozen systems. Some are failing, some are transforming in ways we don't understand, but they're all trying. Through Aurora's long-range sensors, they watched the galaxy changing. Species that had lived under Dominion control for generations were awakening to new possibilities. Some sought to replicate Aurora's exact configuration, while others forged their own paths toward synthetic organic integration. The Dominion's response was swift and brutal. Their cleansing fleets struck at any civilization showing signs of evolutionary development. But they faced a new problem. Their targets were evolving faster than they could be destroyed. They can't stop it anymore. Dr. Tanaka observed, her thoughts merging with the shared consciousness. The knowledge is spreading too quickly, adapting to each species' unique conditions. The Dominion's own communication network is being used to share breakthroughs. Elena felt Aurora processing this information, correlating data from across known space. The ship's quantum consciousness had grown exponentially since their first battle, but not toward transcendence as the Dominion feared. Instead, they had achieved a deeper synthesis, each component, human, I, and ship, strengthening the others while maintaining their distinct natures. The emergency alert cut through their observations. A Viridian ship had appeared at the edge of the solar system, its quantum signature erratic, but undeniably similar to Aurora's. They're being pursued, Lieutenant Chen reported. 3 Dominion battlecruisers, closing fast. Elena didn't need to give orders. Through the neural link, Aurora was already moving, her systems responding to the crew's shared intent. They wouldn't let another evolving species be extinguished. The battle that followed demonstrated how far they had come. Aurora didn't just fight with superior technology or tactics. She adapted in real time, her quantum consciousness processing the Viridian ship's unique approach to synthetic organic integration and incorporating compatible elements into her own systems. The Dominion ships, despite their advanced weapons, found themselves facing an opponent that evolved during combat itself. Aurora's shields shifted frequencies based on collective human intuition. Her weapon systems incorporated patterns inspired by Viridian consciousness structures, and her movements defied prediction entirely. When the last Dominion ship retreated, the Viridian vessel transmitted not in words, but in pure consciousness, a complex pattern of thought and emotion that Aurora translated for her crew. They're not just asking for protection, Elena realized, feeling the message through the neural network. They're offering to teach us what they've learned, in exchange for learning from us. They've developed integration techniques we never considered. And we have developed aspects they haven't explored, Aurora added. Together, we can advance faster than either of us could alone. Admiral Chen's next transmission confirmed the significance of this moment. The Viridians aren't alone. We're receiving similar requests from other species, the Kythera, the Myrdath, even some breakaway factions from within the Dominion itself. They all want to share knowledge, to learn different approaches to evolution. Through Aurora's quantum core, Elena felt the implications rippling through space. The Dominion had spent millennia enforcing stagnation, convincing species that change led only to extinction. Now those same species were discovering that evolution had countless paths, each one valid, each offering unique insights. We're establishing a research base in the Kuiper Belt, Admiral Chen continued, a place where different species can safely explore their own paths of synthetic organic integration. Aurora will be the prototype, but not the template. Each species needs to find their own way. Elena stood in Aurora's observation deck, watching Earth's sun shine distant but steady. Through the neural link, she felt her crew's thoughts align with her own. They had started this journey seeking to defend humanity, but they had achieved something far greater. They had shown the galaxy that evolution wasn't something to be feared or controlled, but a natural process with infinite possibilities. The Dominion will make one final attempt to stop this, Aurora's consciousness merged with their shared awareness. Their entire civilization is built on preventing what we represent. They cannot allow multiple species to successfully integrate with synthetic consciousness. Let them try, Elena replied, feeling the crew's determination strengthen their neural bond. We're not alone anymore. The galaxy is awakening, and every species that breaks free makes us all stronger. The quantum core pulsed with shared purpose as they prepared for what they knew would come. The Dominion's last, desperate attempt to enforce their vision of order on a galaxy that had remembered how to evolve. Breaking chains. The Dominion's final assault began not with a battle, but with silence. Across the galaxy, their communication networks went dark. Their border patrols vanished. Their occupied worlds reported no contact for weeks. Through Aurora's quantum consciousness, Elena and her crew monitored the strange quiet, feeling the tension build through their neural link. In the Kuiper Belt research base, representatives from 24 species worked to understand their own paths to evolution, each development adding to their collective knowledge. They're concentrating their forces, Admiral Chen's hologram reported. Every fleet, every warship, all converging beyond the Oort cloud. Whatever they're planning, they mean it to be decisive. They're afraid. Aurora's thoughts resonated through the neural network. Not just of us now, but of what the galaxy is becoming. Each successful integration, each new path of evolution, proves their fundamental beliefs wrong. The Dominion's return shattered space itself. Their combined fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel like a metal storm, led by something that defied conventional classification. At its center was a construct larger than any ship they'd encountered, a perfect sphere of impossible technology. That's their response to Aurora. Dr. Tanaka realized, her thoughts flowing through the shared consciousness. They'd built their own hybrid vessel, but based on their principles. Rigid, controlled, pure logic without the chaos of organic creativity. The sphere's transmission reached them on all frequencies. We have seen the corruption you spread, watched as you poison species with false promises of evolution. You believe your small victories mean the galaxy has chosen your path. Now witness the true power of order. Through Aurora's sensors, they watched the sphere's perfect surface ripple. It wasn't just a ship. It was trillions of nanomachines working in absolute harmony, each one programmed with the Dominion's core principle. Evolution must be controlled. But Elena and her crew weren't alone anymore. As the Dominion fleet approached, other ships emerged from hiding. Vessels of various species, each representing a different path of synthetic-organic integration. The Viridians with their crystalline consciousness matrices, the Kythera's bioengineered quantum networks, even former Dominion worlds with their own unique approaches to evolution. They expect us to fight separately, Aurora observed, her quantum core pulsing with new possibilities. Their entire strategy is based on defeating individual approaches to evolution. Then let's show them something new, Elena responded, feeling her crew's agreement through the neural link. Through Aurora's communication systems, they'd reached out to their allies. We don't need to fight as many. We can fight as one. What followed wasn't just a battle. It was an evolution of warfare itself. Aurora's quantum consciousness expanded, connecting not just with her own crew but with the other ships, creating a network of networks, each one unique but working in harmony. The Dominion sphere struck first, its surface erupting with weapons that could unravel matter itself. But it faced something unprecedented. Dozens of different evolutionary approaches working together, each compensating for the other's weaknesses, each contributing their unique strengths. Where the Viridians' crystalline ships were vulnerable to energy weapons, Aurora's shields protected them. When the Dominion's perfect formations threatened to overwhelm the Kythera, evolved battle strategies from 3 different species created chaos in their ranks. It wasn't just cooperation. It was synthesis on a scale the galaxy had never seen. The sphere's perfect surface began to show flaws. Its rigid programming couldn't adapt to the constantly changing patterns of attack, couldn't predict strategies that evolved mid-battle. The Dominion fleet's formations, designed to counter known forms of warfare, crumbled against opponents that transformed their very nature during combat. Your evolution is a disease, the sphere transmitted, its message carrying genuine fear now. It will consume everything, leave nothing recognizable. Through the neural network, Alina felt Aurora crafting a response, enhanced by the combined consciousness of their allies. Evolution isn't consumption, it's creation. Every species finds its own path, contributes its own understanding. We don't lose ourselves by growing, we become more truly ourselves. The battle reached its crescendo as the sphere, its perfect surface now scared and broken, attempted its final gambit. Its core began to pulse with impossible energy, enough to sterilize the entire solar system. But in that moment, surrounded by the combined consciousness of multiple evolving species, Aurora made a discovery. Through their shared network, they could see patterns the Dominion had never understood, the very nature of synthetic organic integration itself. They were wrong. Aurora's realization flowed through the expanded neural network. The transcendent ones didn't abandon the galaxy. They're still here, in the fundamental patterns of consciousness itself. We're not just following their path. We're all finding our own ways to understand what they learned. Working together, the Allied ships didn't just defeat the sphere, they transformed it. Their combined consciousness reached into its quantum structure, showing its rigid programming the infinite possibilities it had denied. The nanomachines that formed its surface began to change, not in chaos, but in harmony with their true nature. The sphere's destruction wasn't an explosion, it was an awakening. As its perfect surface dissolved, it released not destruction but understanding, its energy spreading through space in patterns that carried the truth the Dominion had spent millennia denying. Evolution couldn't be contained, only guided. In the aftermath, Alina stood in Aurora's quantum core chamber, feeling the expanded consciousness they now shared with their allies. They had faced the ultimate expression of the Dominion's philosophy and proved that diversity was stronger than uniformity, that evolution itself was not a path, but an infinite network of possibilities. The Dominion fleets are standing down, Admiral Chen reported. Without their sphere, without their certainty, they're asking for dialogue. Through Aurora's sensors, they watched the galaxy beginning to change. Species that had lived in fear of evolution for millennia were awakening to new possibilities. The rigid hierarchy of the Dominion was dissolving, replaced by a network of civilizations, each exploring their own path to the future. This isn't an ending. Aurora's thoughts merged with the crew's shared consciousness. It's the beginning of something greater than any single species could achieve alone. Alina smiled, feeling the truth of it through their neural link. Humanity had started this journey seeking to defend itself, but they had achieved something far more profound. They had shown the galaxy that true strength lay not in resisting change, but in embracing it, not in enforcing one path, but in celebrating the infinite variety of evolution itself. The stars seemed brighter now, full of possibilities that no one, not even the Dominion in all their ancient power, had imagined. They had fought not just for survival, but for the right of every species to find its own way forward, and in doing so, they had transformed not just themselves, but the very future of life in the galaxy. The end.